Hello, and welcome to this week's weekly Cosmic Dive. I'm astrologer Shane Smith. Good to have you here this week. This is our this is our very special week, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But what we do in weekly Cosmic Dive is we have a quick guide through the week ahead using vibrational astrology. We explore the key planetary vibrations and discover how to work with them in supportive and uplifting ways. We use this knowledge to strengthen our alignment with the natural rhythm and wisdom of the cosmos. And this week's weekly cosmic dive is for the week of February 9th through the 16th of 2026. And yes, we have Valentine's Day coming up on Saturday on the 14th. And so we're going to talk a little bit about love. All right. To prepare for this forecast, we need to understand that there are many planetary vibrations happening at any given time. It's just a cacophony of noise up there sometimes. And we tune into the frequencies that we choose to tune into, much like we do a radio station. Or like if I have Sirius XM, so I tune into the Beatles channel, and that's the music I want to hear on a particular day. So we ask, which frequencies do you choose to frequent? Remember, you do have choice. So let's take a look at the chart that's happening right now. This is our now chart, and there's still a lot of activity happening in Aquarius. We have Pluto, Mars, Sun, and Venus still messing around in there. And then in Pisces, we have Mercury and Saturn. And Saturn is going to be moving out pretty soon. Actually, on Thursday, it's going to be joining Neptune in Aries. And we'll talk about that in just a moment and what that means. Last week, I pointed out something rather interesting. When we look at the midpoint structure of this particular configuration of charts, we see that I talked about last week how Neptune was at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto. And this was referred to as system stress transition window. And in the history of the cosmic order of things, it's where existing political, economic, and social order is visibly failing. Leadership is unstable, and decisions made during this window accelerate a much larger rupture. Now, Saturn is going to be joining this midpoint structure pretty soon, as I mentioned, as it joins with Neptune and Aries. And so we have all four of the outer planets connected together. Wow, this is pretty heavy stuff. So Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto all are going to be intermingling their energies in a way that says, it's about time for a change. And you probably can feel this change right now. And I think what Saturn's going to add to this is a little bit of reality, a little bit of exposure to what is true, because Saturn likes to get to the heart of the matter and figure out, what is necessary, what needs to come out, what needs to be said. And I think we're going to find truth finally unveiled during this period of time. Saturn makes a direct impact with this midpoint of Uranus and Pluto on the 22nd. So we have a couple of weeks yet to see this all play out. I'd love to see how that all works out. And there it is, the Saturn-Neptune equals Uranus-Pluto midpoint. Should be interesting times. And for yourself, you could look at this as a way that you can take something and totally change it around. And maybe it's like a complete restructuring of your home. Maybe it's like a remodeling or something like that. Or maybe a job change, or maybe something in relationships need to change. Okay. This is a very pretty intense kind of dynamic, because we've got those four outer planets playing a role in this. So let's see if we can use it constructively. All right. Now, as we look at the week ahead of us, vibrationally. Um, we're going to break it down day by day. And we see that today, Monday, there's that nice pink or violet line reaching a peak. Um, Pink peak. And so that refers to this is a day of excellence and transformation. We can go above and beyond the ordinary with this kind of vibration happening. So think about what you'd like to do that with, and especially as it relates to communication, expression, reasoning, and travel. Or you might feel a little antsy and have a spontaneous drive to break new ground and do something different today. So that's the energy that's happening today. Tomorrow, we see the blue line coming up later in the afternoon. The blue refers to a creative and flowing vibration. It's a very playful and a very organic, nonlinear kind of expression where we can create something big and we can have flowing opportunities and sparkling love. I say sparkling love because Venus and Uranus are connecting in that particular vibration of creative and flowing on Tuesday. Wednesday, blended and concentrated. See that gray line that's reaching a peak? That means that we have some conjunctions or planets coming together in uh, in a longitudinal way. And this is a time that we can take that energy and work with it with groups, maybe group discussions are indicated, or dissolving old ideas and structures with vision and imagination. So, Wednesday, look for that. Thursday, we see a couple of peaks happening. What looks like a green line and a pink or a violet line. And what we talk about here is the violet line is the excellence and transformation line that we talked about for today. And that's happening once again on Thursday with different planets. And then the healing and harmony line is the green line. And so when we see excellence and transformation, we're going above and beyond, right? So think about how you can do that with maybe something new, perhaps something daring, and maybe expressing kind and loving words because planets with those definitions are at play in the excellence and transformation area, or do something with another in a disciplined manner, or do it with yourself, do it by yourself. Maybe you need to get away on Thursday, but I don't think so because healing and harmony says I want to do it with community. And so that healing and harmony is that green line, and we see it spotlights deep concentrations, I mean, connections and easy access to the unconscious. Ooh. And then also on that Thursday, you might see healing and harmony related to technical or detailed communication or reading of some sorts. Now, you notice the blue line is coming up, making an appearance. That is the creative and flowing line that we saw a little bit on Tuesday. Different planets are involved, but it looks like it has a much longer impact. And so Thursday to Friday, that creative and flowing line spotlights changing the rules. So how can you change the rules creatively in a spontaneous and flowing way? We want to break away from the existing structures Thursday and Friday. Oh, and then Saturday. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if we look at Venus, Venus is typically looked at as the planet of love. And normally astrologers would say, oh, well, let's take a look at the Ptolemaic aspects. And the Ptolemaic aspects include the conjunction, the sextile, the square, and the trine. And the thing is you won't see Venus involved in any of those aspects on Saturday. Does that mean there's no love at all? Where did it go? Actually, there will be love on Saturday if we look deeper within the vibrations. And it all begins at midnight to 2:30 a.m. I'm talking about Mountain Standard Time at this point. Venus and Neptune will be connecting in the seventh vibration, actually at 14 vibration, which is a harmonic of the seventh vibration. So a very deep and peaceful, quiet love begins the day on Saturday. And then from midnight to 3, we see the Sun and Venus operating at the 39th vibration, which is the 13th harmonic. And so the 13th wants to go above and beyond. So if you're up at that hour, you want to do something a little extraordinary with love, there you go. Um, and then from that point on, from 3 in the morning all the way to just about midnight, we have various combinations of planets operating within the 11th vibration. And vibration 11 has to do with being a little restless. You want to make things happen now. So there's going to be this little kind of push to get love going during the day here. And also there'll be this kind of progressive feeling with love. You want to advance it in some way that is it can lead to something perhaps different or better. So watch out for that on Saturday. It's going to be a fun day on Saturday for Valentine's Day. So I hope it's a good one for you and your loved ones, be it a person or a pet or just something you want to do out in nature or enjoy reading or creating in some way. And then on Sunday, we see some excellence and transformation energy. And then we see that restless and progressive energy again. So looks like we're going to end on a pretty up note on Sunday. So that's it. That's your weekly guide for this week. I really appreciated you joining me, and join us next week when we talk about things that are happening for the week of the 16th. And we'll be talking about the eclipse next week. So there's an eclipse coming up, and that'll be fun to dive into. So keep asking, which frequencies do you choose to frequent? And we'll see you next time. Until then, take good care. Bye bye.